This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional. Ryan is really excited for this one because I keep finding horror people to bring on. So you really must be living the dream today, Ryan.
I am. I was living the dream up until about an hour ago too, because it's nice and early over here in sunny or rainy Australia at the moment. Nice and early, which is good. I like the early morning interviews because my internet doesn't cut out because no one's awake. Especially on a Saturday morning too. But yeah, I am living the dream. Went and saw Fantastic Four for the second time on Thursday. Absolutely fantastic it was. Great film. Look, man, like with Superman and Fantastic Four coming out so close together and both being so amazing, I feel like we're coming back to a good era of comic book movies. So if you haven't seen Fantastic Four, make sure you go and check it out because it's really good.
Okay. If it's still in when this episode drops, probably is.
Oh yeah, true. Probably. If not, then illegally stream it on a website or something.
Oh, it's probably coming to streaming very soon. I saw Superman said that Superman's coming to streaming soon. That's what I saw.
Really? Oh, wow. It's still at the movies though. Oh, okay, cool.
They want to deter those naughty people.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells, Martin Kearns. Rebecca Cassells for the paranormal romance. She's got a book out now called The Broken Cabin, slow burn romance. Character modeled off Henry Cavill, so that's always a win.
But it doesn't turn out very good for that character, though, I will say.
Spoilers. And then Martin Kearns has a horror book out called Kinda.
And I actually have finished that book as well. Very, very good. I didn't know. Another one that I didn't know could write horror because he's such a nice guy. And just like we were talking off air about Janelle Shenky. Sheiky. Sorry, I always say Shenky. I apologize, Janelle, if you're listening. As I said to you guys, I'm about 10% to go on the Clutter Man, and I'm absolutely loving it. She really knows how to kill a character. I will say that in certain ways, and because we had a conversation with her on the podcast about how she comes up with the ways to kill people. And she definitely does a great job in The Clutter Man. So I'm looking forward to the sequel of that she said she's writing at the moment. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Be sure to check that out. And buy Ryan's shirt.
Yeah. Has anyone bought it yet?
No. Well, I haven't checked.
Damn it. Okay. Buy my shirt. If you want to live the dream like I do every single day, buy my shirt. And you too can live the dream.
There you go. All right, now that the promo's done, let's bring in our guest with one of the most easiest names to pronounce. Blake Myers, how we going?
Doing pretty good.
Thank you for joining us.
And it is the easy name. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
I thought you were going to say it's actually pronounced Blake Myers. And then that'd really
Blake.
Yeah, Blake. That'd really stuff Jamie's day up.
Or the M is silent.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the first question we always like to ask people is, who is Blake Myers?
Blake Myers is a native Ohioan who now lives in the Czech Republic. I have a wife and child, and I write horror and teach English by day and kill people by night. So.
I love it.
That's awesome. So what brought you to the Czech Republic?
Oh, that's a long story. I'll keep it very short. I used to do sports camps in the summer when I was younger, and my organization got invited over to do sport, to do some camps. And so I went over like the first time in 2002, and again in 2007, and again in 2009, and fell in love with the culture and the place and the people. And then I was invited to come over by the Sports Association to do just like a year of coaching with different teams, kind of as an outside consultant coach,
Yeah.
And I was only going to do that for 1 year. I got a year sabbatical for my school. I taught high school in the US, and then I just stayed.
Wow.
It's like that.
As simple as that. I just stayed. Of course, I fell in love with my wife, and we got married, and then had kids. So that's a little bit of a motivation.
So she's originally from there, is she?
Yeah, she's Prager. Yeah.
There you go. Because our last guest, I didn't even see his face, right? Like, so we organized this interview, and he said, "Oh, I'm in this time zone." It was Spain. Like, okay, like Spanish author. Okay. That's gonna be cool. I say to Ryan, this guy's probably going to have an accent. That's a joke.
Yeah, he did. He did. To be fair, he did have an accent.
He came on and he's like, "Hello, how are you?" And he's British. Same deal as you. He's married to a Spanish girl that lives over there. It was just random.
There you go.
And his
those European women,
Yeah. Well, I'm not married or anything, and I always joked if I went to Japan, I'd probably come back with a wife because I love punk rock.
Oh yeah.
And
there you go.
I have friends that moved over there. Or that went over there on tour and came back with wives, It's just like it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have icebreakers that we love to do. We mandate them. I know. So
I'm going to go first today because
look at that, he jumped right in. He jumped right
because you were only because you went first last time. So
okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's only
I'm
fair.
going to go first this time.
And I screwed up. I screwed up when I go first.
You really do. You really do. Because last time, every time so what we do is people who are familiar with the show, we do bonus questions at the end, which we don't, like, spoiler alert, we send the icebreakers to the authors in advance so that they can, come up, so you guys can come up with some good answers. But then we also have bonus questions at the end of the episode where we put you on the spot. They are all author and book related, but Jamie, I always love the last question, but Jamie always manages to skip over some so he can tell the last question.
It's not intentional.
Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that he sticks to it this time.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to set the scene for the first question, all right? So, we live in a world where, most of all of these things that we worry about nowadays, all those problems are gone. So we have world peace. There's no cruelty to animals or cruelty to humans. We live in an amazing world that, all the politically correct answers
have been answered.
Have already been answered. So I
did not prepare one.
Okay, good. Because when we first started this question, people would do a lot of the same answers. They'd give a lot of the poverty and all that, which is noble, but yeah, we know you're just doing it for a politically correct thing. So we decided, let's get rid of all that and be completely selfish. So if you could get rid of one thing in the world after, we live in a semi-perfect world, what would it be?
Standard seating and long distance flights.
Okay.
Everything would be lay down bed seats.
Nice.
I am so tired of flying back and forth to America, and in these, because I'm tall, I'm 6'4", so these little seats and my little legs are just no.
Yeah.
Get rid of the standard seats, put in beds everywhere.
Yeah.
Screw first class. Everyone should have that.
I'm imagining that guy from The Simpsons where Nelson's like, and he's driving in his little car, and he's like,
yeah. Absolutely.
And he steps out. He's like, "Do you find something funny about me driving in my automobile?" I really can't say much because I've never been on a plane. So
yeah, Jamie's one of those weird. He's one of those weird people that doesn't.
Never been on a plane.
No, he doesn't go. He doesn't go away.
I do go away.
outside of the country, kind of thing.
It's a big country, though.
Yes.
So
I've visited most of our East Coast, because it's like, that's where the population is. I like to drive and see places because you stop anywhere. Like you all look at.
Yes.
If I was in a plane, I'd be looking down and going, "Can we stop? I want to look at that."
Yeah.
Now, the other side of the country, Perth, is ironically, it's quicker to fly from Sydney to New Zealand than it is from Sydney to
It
the
is.
other side of Australia.
It's crazy.
It is.
So
Yeah.
I'd probably fly to Perth because I don't want to drive on a straight road for 40 hours.
And to be honest, with
Yeah.
you, Jamie, most of that is desert.
Yeah, I know.
So if you break down,
Where everything wants to kill you.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's just Australia in general,
yeah,
but yeah, if you're gonna drive,
yeah,
the last thing you want to do is drive in a desert where
yeah,
there's nothing for hundreds and hundreds of
yeah.
kilometers.
Because my cousins went there when they were kids, like went on that drive, I'm pretty sure. And my uncle, every time they said, "Oh, are we there yet? How far is it?" He's like, "It's just around the corner." And
Yeah.
the next corner's like 5 hours away.
Exactly. Well, you got to make sure you have plenty of petrol, plenty of
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, no,
That's yeah.
you get to a sign where it says no, there will be no fuel for like 1,000 kilometers or whatever. So to go
Right.
out there, you have to have like a jerry can to keep going.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
I'd never do that.
But it's beautiful though. It'd be a beautiful drive.
Oh yeah,
Oh, definitely.
like
100%.
look, East Coast. Like I mean, the other day, when we recorded Janelle Shiki's episode, I was down in a place called Bateman's Bay, which is about 4.5 hours away from where I live, down the coast. And then even then, beautiful drive. And then I went, I've never been to this place called Eden, where they have this famous story
Yeah.
about killer whales, that used to help hunt.
Mhm.
They used to round up the humpbacks for the whalers and herd them into the
Okay.
yeah, like it's a cool story that like one of them called Old Tom, when he died, he came into shore to die on like with his people essentially. So it's a really cool story. But
Okay.
I drove
That's pretty cool.
I drove another 2.5 hours to go to that museum, and it's just like again, beautiful drive, So
Yeah.
if it's on the East Coast, I'll drive it, because there's lots to see, lots to do. But out west, I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah, going back to talking about our first class thing, my dad, he retired now. He worked really, really hard all his life, and our people, well, my background is English and Scottish. So my dad actually, after he retired, my auntie was living, his sister was living over in Leicester in the UK. So he actually went for a trip by himself over to England and did Scotland and all that. But he actually said, "Look, for the first time in my life, I'm going to fly first class
Yeah. You
and
have to.
pay
Man, you
because it's
have
a
to.
long from Australia. It's essentially 24 hours
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a full day.
to get there." So he's like, "You know what? I've retired. I've got a little bit of money. I'm going to go first class." And he said, I was like a tourist on a plane. He was like, "Wow,
Yes.
look at all this cool stuff." And
Leg
like,
room.
yeah, exactly. So, because we're all quite tall as well. Like I'm 6'1". My dad's just a little bit taller than me. So, yeah, we really do appreciate extra leg room. So I think me
It's a
and my
beautiful
whole
thing.
family will be on board with your answer there.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic. I mean, it's 12 hours from
Yeah,
minimum if I'm doing maybe one connection because I have to get to
yeah,
Ohio. It always takes an extra connection at least. So we usually take 12 hours to 15 hours is kind of the average flight time. So of course with
yeah.
layover. So, being cramped in there, I'm sorry. My daughter now, she's a little tiny thing. She's 6. Her legs are just flapping
Yeah.
around. She's laying
Yeah.
down, but not me. No, no, no.
You think
No,
they'd adjust them for kids so the kids would cramp, they fit more kids in if they
Yeah.
cramp the seat.
That's probably what they're thinking, the average height,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
Terrible.
to make it more feasible, they can have like all the kids sit in one section up the front with no leg room, and then everyone else everyone who's over, say, like 15 gets like a bed. Like
Yes.
a bed
Yes,
that you can lay
absolutely.
down, and that way you can be more cost effective and get more people in the plane.
Yeah.
Or they could just be like China, the Chinese beds in the drawers. They can...
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
Stacked on,
Yeah, you walk in and you've got like no chairs. It's just all drawers, chests of drawers, and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the crash procedure would be for that. Like, hey, buckle your
Oh
seatbelts.
God.
The airbag will deploy. Yeah.
Oh, you're already bubble wrapped inside.
Yeah, you're basically
Yeah.
bubble wrap. Yeah.
I think if you're going to, going flying, to pay less money for that, I think, if you're gonna crash, I think they just say, look, we know you're stuffed. Just smile
Say your
or
prayers.
something like that. Yeah, say your prayers. Say your prayers and take
Say
your
your prayers. Say
vitamins.
goodbye.
The Disney ride photos,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's it. That's
yeah.
it. I love it.
All right. Okay. Number 2. What is something on your bucket list?
So I am going with that trope that you see in movies all the time, with authors, where an author sees somebody in a coffee shop or an airplane where they're reading their book, but they don't recognize that it's you. And then they say, or you ask, what do you think of the book?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a wonderful book. It's, this is my favorite author. That I want that. I mean, I'm never going to be a millionaire. That's I'm not going to expect anything, ludicrous like that. But that, I think, that could happen, and I would love that. That would just be like, okay, I did it. I am someone's favorite author. Even though they don't recognize me, that to me would just be fantastic.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I want that trope.
I can get behind that because I had one of those moments. I'm not an author, but me and Jamie, we used to be in punk rock bands back in the day. And that's essentially how me and Jamie met. Our bands started playing together a lot. And me and Jamie realized we were both the nerds of our band. And I think Jamie started the conversation about Arrow. And then I thought, yep, he's my guy. And then, we became close friends. And then obviously as time goes on. But yeah, like my thing was in bucket list. Like I had a two on my bucket list. I wanted to play a venue that I really loved, which is an old venue out here called the Annandale Hotel. And I got to play the Annandale Hotel. And 2 was to play a show and look out into, because I was the vocalist, I was a singer, and to play a show and look out and see people singing the lyrics to something that I'd written. And
that
I
would be
think
cool.
that is kind of like an essential, it's and I got to see that quite a bit because people were loving our music. So like I guess that's a very similar thing to having someone say, "Hey, I really like this author. He's a favorite of mine." For you guys, like to me, my equivalent is to look out and see someone singing the lyrics to a song that I wrote.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Yeah, it'd be a rush.
It's 100%,
and it's feasible because like you can run into anyone, and they just might be reading your book, and you're like,
yeah.
You're like,
so
yeah,
especially now.
It's the right kind of famous. Like I think Nathan Fillion said he loves how famous he is because he's not famous enough that he can't move down the street, but you still get people go, "Oh, hello, you," like it's just like balance and
that happy medium.
Yeah, I couldn't handle that kind of fame. Like even Nathan Fillion fame. I was just like,
Yeah, well, it can get intense. I feel sorry for those people, with the paparazzi and all that stuff. Like that's just, I'm sorry, that's just too much,
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, question number 3. Now, this is mine and Jamie's favorite question. So, Jamie, do you want to bring up the graphic?
I'll bring up the graphic.
Okay, so we've got the Mount Rushmore. So, we want to know what's on your the list of your Mount Rushmore for television shows. It can be any genre, just 4 TV shows that have had an effect on your life where you're like, these shows are always going to be my favorite, to rewatch and stuff like that.
Well, we've already kind of mentioned it just ever so briefly, because my number 1 would be related to I Aim to Misbehave. I love a little Firefly. Love me some Firefly.
Yeah,
man. He was fantastic, Captain Mal. I mean, come on, My other favorite line from that was, somebody tries to kill you. try to kill him right back. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
that's classic. Like,
Yeah.
well, yes, obviously, someone tries to
Yeah.
kill you, you kill him right back.
Yeah.
So Firefly, and as much as I love the movie Serenity, it was great, and it gave you a little closure. You usually don't get that in movies or TV shows that are canceled. But I would give that movie up to have more seasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just what a great fun show.
I think that's one of
number one for
TV's.
me.
I think that's one of TV's greatest mistakes to only have one season of Firefly.
Yeah.
And they didn't even do it right. When they aired it out of order, like what do you
who
expect?
does that?
Yeah.
Like that's just stupid. You're going to have a screw up when you air it out of order, and it is continuous story, so it has to be played in order.
Yeah.
So I love Firefly. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to get a little grief for this one probably, and it's Lost.
No, I love Lost. Absolutely love it.
Well, it's the ending. People just are so critical of the last few seasons. It does jump the shark just a little bit. I'm okay with the ending because I'm a very philosophical person. I actually studied religion and philosophy when I was in college. So for me, that type of ending wasn't an issue. I kind of liked that resolution a little bit, but I understand why people didn't like it, But I personally I loved it. I binged it. I didn't watch it when it first came out.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I watched it after it had almost been done, like maybe down to the last two seasons. And so I binge watched all of it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's 2 more seasons to go, and it's current. So I had to wait. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can definitely get behind Lost. I got into it as it came out. I only remember that because they just brought out recording on DVDs, so recording off TV onto DVDs. They just literally brought that out. And I remember I think the first 3 seasons recorded from TV on DVD.
Okay.
There was back before, I was working a lot and could actually afford to buy it. But then I went and bought all the seasons on Blu-ray because I'm the same. I'm not religious at all, but I could appreciate the ending for what it was, and I wasn't one of those people who were complaining. I mean, sure, there could have been a better ending, but for that story, I was happy with that ending.
It is what it is. But I still walk around saying 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. I mean, there's numbers, they still just kind of float. If I see that number on a tram or a bus, I'm like, do I really want to get on that bus?
Exactly. It's always a second thought.
It's impacted me. It's clearly impacted me. I would say next would be Dexter.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
I love me some Dexter. I really enjoyed of course, they had those extra seasons after they closed off the original series. They had the one oh gosh.
So there was New Blood, Dexter New Blood.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Where he was in the forest as the lumberjack. Yeah, that was really good. And then
Dexter
the one
Original Sin.
Yes, thank you. I knew I was going to mess up those titles too. Thank you.
That's fine.
Which I loved. I loved that one. I mean, they nailed the actor who played Dexter and Angel. I mean, are you kidding me?
I know they literally
twins. Twins. I had to stop on Angel and think to myself, did they do age regression on him? Because he is spot on. Yeah. So I love that one. And I'm waiting. I know they have that new one, the Resurrection one, right? That's Resurrection. I'm waiting until it finishes, and then I want to binge watch it all.
Just letting you know, and I'm not going to spoil anything. It is me and my wife. We couldn't do it. We had to watch it. We've watched the first 4 episodes, and the 5th episode came out last night, so we'll watch it today. But it is fantastic. So that's all I'm going to say.
Music to my ears.
It is
music to my ears.
So good. We actually sat there and because we watched the New Blood. And then we watched Original Sin, which was the prequel, and they were both fantastic. Like absolutely loved them. And then the new one came out, and it's like watching the original series for the first time again.
And I've never read the books. I've never read the books.
The books are more. The books are.
They're darker.
Look, they are darker, but in the books, they essentially just focused on one season. Well, one season of the show focused on one book.
Okay.
But they, in the original show where they did that season with Colin Hanks as a serial killer, where they did like the apocalypse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that was season 5. That's actually the story from the first book. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
definitely worth a look. I believe there's 4 books out. I have
Okay.
them in storage because I don't have enough room for a bookshelf here, but I actually own the physical books. So yeah, definitely check them out if you love Dexter. And when Resurrection finishes, you will be pleasantly surprised when you watch it. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Again, music to my ears. Yeah. Yeah. Then let's see. My next one. Do I get 4 or 5?
4.
4.
4. Okay. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna because I have to delete one. I'm gonna go with From.
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 I
Do you
don't
know
think I've heard
From?
about that.
I
Oh, from, yes, yes, I've watched the
Yes.
first 2 seasons. Yes.
It's the same
Mhm.
actor that played Link
Michael.
and yeah, oh gosh, he was in Matrix. He
Hmm.
did that criminal TV, or no, he did that prison show Oz many
Yep.
years ago, where he's in a wheelchair, and of course, then he was in Lost as well. And I'm like, what? This
Yeah.
guy has the worst luck from Lost to From. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's great. I'm a little worried because it's not done. I'm a little worried it might jump the shark just ever so slightly based off the ending of the last season. But really, right now, I love the oddity, the strangeness of it. It's fun. It's kind of creepy, crawly a little bit. It's
Yeah.
right up my alley. So
Well,
I'm gonna go
I
From.
haven't watched the 3rd season yet. I'm still behind because my wife can't handle horror. Anything
Okay.
horror related, like slasher stuff, like where there's an actual killer, she can handle. But like anything like what you see in
Supernatural. Yeah.
From is
Yeah,
she
it's
can't
definitely
handle. So that's
supernatural.
yeah, that's one show that I have to watch by myself when I get time. So just Jamie, just to give you an idea on the premise. So it's basically there's a town in somewhere in rural America where people you have to drive through it to get to I don't know some other state,
Yeah.
and when you drive through it, um, you try and get through it, but you actually just end up coming back to the start of the town, so you're stuck
In a loop kind of
in
thing.
the town, yeah, in the
Yeah.
loop. And then there's all these supernatural, well, not supernatural, like they're just one species essentially, from what I've seen, of these
Correct.
kind of, I don't know how to just,
Monsters.
yeah, I would say monsters, yeah, but they also take on human form.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely a horror, but that I think that guy, he plays Michael in Lost. I think his name's Harold
Yeah.
something.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, from going to
Goes through
get
crap.
stuck on an island in Lost, and then getting stuck in From as well. And then yeah, I loved watching Oz. Well, I watched that back when it came out, and now watching it, we just recently watched
I
it
mean, that's what,
again.
like
So
15, 20 years ago, the Oz came
yeah,
out. I mean, it's
yeah.
an old show. Yeah. It was
It was
good.
before Law and Order came out, actually. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was back because a lot of the stars from Oz, because it was the same showrunner, ended up going on to Law and Order. So yeah, but definitely another fantastic show by HBO. I mean,
There you go.
I love HBO. Sopranos is my favorite show of all time. So um, yeah, I feel like yeah, poor Harold. I don't know his last name, but
Yeah.
I'll
It's
say.
terrible.
So
But
so
From
Terrible.
is really good.
what you're saying is he's like a traveling Sean Bean.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, pretty much. But so far, and look,
Yes. Yes.
I haven't seen season 3 of From, but so far he's still alive, so I'm happy for him there. But
And
that
he
could,
always has a problem with his son.
yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He
He
really, oh
always
yeah, he
has
does
tension
too.
with his
Yeah,
son, so
that's right.
yeah.
Because him and his son
Yeah.
are strange. Well, in the first season, they start off as estranged. So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
loved your
So those
answers
are
for
my
that
4.
question.
Excellent.
I can get behind
I'll
all of those
I'll
shows.
chisel them in.
But yeah, definitely Dexter's one of my all-time favorites, so I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to more horror. What's your zombie apocalypse plan?
Well, I actually have a nice 2-inch thick steel pipe And I honestly feel like that is the best zombie apocalypse weapon.
Yeah.
It's sturdy enough that it's going to do serious brain damage. Um, and you could use it as a pushing device and push people away, but it's not
Yeah.
going to get stuck in the skull. I'm always like, these knives and swords, they put them in, they pull them. No, no, no.
No,
It's
they'll
not so
suck.
easy.
No.
And this will not get stuck. So I've got that. And I definitely think I need to learn to bow hunt because
Mhm.
this whole idea of being reliant on guns and ammunition for hunting for food, no. That's not going to work.
No.
You need to be able to recover your arrows and all that. So definitely I need to pick up my bow hunting skills. Now I'm not saying a gun isn't useful. A gun would
No.
definitely be useful, but those would be my two weapons of
Yeah.
choice. And then I would just take the family off to the cottage and shore up around and live off the land. So
Nice.
that would be it. Stay away from the cities, of course.
Of course. Now, do
Well,
you have two plans, for like one for each in case you're stuck in America and one if you're stuck in the Czech?
Well, actually, and if I'm stuck in America, I've got it made because
Yeah.
I've got all these crazy redneck friends from high school that all know how to bow hunt and everything.
Yeah.
I'm bringing my family. I'm tagging along. It's only
Yeah.
3 extra miles, and just me
Yeah.
and my wife and child. Just bring us along. I'll do whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
So that would actually be easy. In the Czech
Yeah.
Republic, it'd be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Because getting guns in the Czech Republic, that
Yeah,
it's
well,
legal, but it's a little bit harder to find those. So
yeah.
well, considering the last two people that we had on said that they would just literally give up, and let the
Join them.
zombies take them. I think that's a really good answer because we have had a lot of people, and look, I get it, because we've had a lot of exposure to zombie shows,
Yeah.
and zombie movies and stuff like that. So I do get it. But like I'm a big guy, like I'm not as big as I used to be, but I would still try and put up a bit of a fight, like just try and live out a little bit, rather
yeah.
than just completely giving up.
But it really does depend on, again, and I know other visitors to your show have said this. It depends on what type of zombie you're talking. Shaun of the
It
Dead
is.
versus
Yeah.
28 weeks. Well, I mean
Yeah.
that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean if we're talking
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead zombies, like I'm going to be having a party
Yeah.
every night in my house still. Like who
Yeah.
cares? I might still go to work. I'll go to work normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still teaching English, everybody.
Yeah. Even
So yeah, that makes a big difference.
I'd take the Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Oh, those would be fun. Yeah, those would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a great
Uh,
mashup. What a great mashup.
Oh, it was just it's so funny. My sister, my niece, my mother love Pride and Prejudice, and anytime they talk about it, I just stick my head in the door, and go, and zombies.
And zombies.
And they go, no, and it kills them because they love Matt Smith.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And Matt Smith's in it. I'm like, he's right there.
Well, I mean,
My
go
sister,
for it, girls.
my sister said she's worried that she'll like it. That's why she won't watch it.
Oh,
because
lame excuse.
because I know because it's just great. It's just great.
Well, Jamie put me onto that movie, and I'd actually heard of it, but I'd never seen it. And then I watched it, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. And he's like, well, if you like that, watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And then that
Well,
was
it's the same guy,
like,
the same author.
yeah, exactly. And I watched Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter finally after, a long time. And I was like, wow, this is freaking awesome.
He's got 3
Yeah.
books. One he hasn't turned into a movie yet. I think he's worried because it's religious, but it sounds so cool. Where it's the three wise men are like demon hunters that basically come to get Jesus and Mary and Joseph and pull them out, like because dark forces are coming to kill them or something. I'm going like, do that because it's so funny.
Okay. I'm going to have to pick that book up. I did not know that one existed.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get that one. Okay, that's going to be hilarious.
I think it was his first book. I can't remember what it was called, but that's that's the premise of it.
Okay, it'll be easy to find. I'll just have to get on Amazon. I'll have to dig for that. That's too much.
Yeah, well,
okay.
You Google his name. I think it's someone Maya. I'll do it right now so I can verify.
But the way I just love the way that it's still Like even though it is, something that you wouldn't expect to see together, they're just done so well. Like
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be like a comedy kind of thing. Well, it's
Yeah,
really not. It's
it's
really
not.
great.
It's taken quite
It's
serious. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Seth Graham Smith is his name.
Okay.
Yes. There we go.
So yeah, if ever anyone hasn't seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire
Highly
Hunter, get on
recommend.
board. Highly recommend those
Like
movies and buy the books as well.
the book's called Unholy Night.
But
Oh,
Unholy
nice.
Night. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Is it night with
again,
a
like you said,
cave?
they're not
No.
comedy, but you just have to take it as like, well, this is an unserious,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
serious movie, and then you have fun with it.
yeah. Well, because I think some of the best comedies are the ones that are played just dead straight.
Yeah.
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 Because
it's just funny. One of my favorite
pure entertainment.
One of my favorite B grade movies is Fat Man with Mel Gibson, and he plays Santa. He plays Santa.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's just like it's all serious, and he's fallen on hard times, and so he's hiring the elves out to the U.S. military, and it's just funny. And the kid hires a hitman to kill Santa, and it's all played dead straight. And I love that. I love.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Even what's that movie with Nicolas Cage's Renfield?
Renfield, yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yes, with Nicholas Hoult, right?
Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage.
Correct?
Yeah. And it's played pretty
and it was
serious.
like a musical, wasn't it? Like they were singing in it too.
No, I don't think there's any singing, but it's.
I thought for sure there was a singing bit at one point.
Well, there may have been.
But I bet I have a terrible memory on things, so
yeah,
you don't have to quote me on that one.
No, I love that film. And
it's hilarious. So
yeah.
The fight scene outside of his apartment.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, they're just flying everywhere. It's like that's fun.
Yeah.
I remember I was in hospital when that first came out, and I watched it on my tiny little, well, not tiny little phone, but like a little phone, because I didn't have my laptop at the time, and I was like, this movie is absolutely amazing. And I literally got my wife to bring my laptop in. I'm like, I need to watch this on a bigger screen.
Definition.
Yeah, definitely, because it's so good. But yeah, Renfield, I think I've watched 5 or 6 times since it came out. It's so good. All right.
But you have to go into it with just fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't go, oh my God, this is a series. This is going to do so much for the lore of the vampire. It's not. It's just, when you've got actors like Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult, I think, is one of the best actors out there
fantastic.
now. And if you've got Nicolas Cage, who, in my opinion, regardless of how many, straight to DVD movies he's done, he's still an icon of action movies.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job at playing Dracula that, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So rounding off the final question of our icebreakers. I like this already. We've been on tangents, which is great. I think I said the same thing to Janelle. I was like, when the icebreakers take quite a while to do, it's going to be a good interview. So the final question's another fun one. So I'm assuming you're familiar with the Bill and Ted movies.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Well, I have to ask that question because I thought everyone had seen them until we had a couple of guests that hadn't seen them. So I can't just assume that people have seen, amazing cinema anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bill and Ted show up in the time booth phone machine, and they're like, "Whoa, dude! Rufus has asked us to take you anywhere in time and to test out our new time machine. Where do you go?"
Okay, so this actually truly ties in with my book because I really want to know who put Bella in the Wych Elm. I mean, nobody knows. I really want to know the answer, so I want to go back and ask her. Simple as that.
I'm going to spoil it for you. It was me. I went back with Bill and Ted and put Bella Guns in the Wych Elm.
Yeah, no, you go back and you're like, "Whoa, dude, you're here early."
Yeah.
She's still working on her 4th or 5th victim. But
Yeah,
we'll get
exactly.
into that when we start talking about the book.
Yeah.
I was saying to Blake off air that he has set a record. I actually got his book before we even started recording,
Mm.
and that is because as soon as I saw the title, I said, "Yep, I'm going to get it," because the story it's historical fiction, and the historical part of it is one of the first ever documentaries and podcasts I listened to on true crime. So I was like, yep, this is right up my alley. I'm going to get it. So we can go into that more when we start talking about the book.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you pass the icebreakers. Ryan's very
Yep,
satisfied. He's got a
very satisfied.
satisfied look on his
Fantastic.
face. Um,
Fantastic.
yes. So let's kick it off with your, as you know, Mirthquake would say,
Yeah.
author origin story. How did it start for you?
And so, I've always liked telling stories. I was a fibber in school. I just would make up all kinds of crap to tell school teachers and other kids. And I'm sure they all thought I was just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always been an active imagination, just thinking of things. I never really thought about writing a story or anything like that. But, the idea would be kind of cool. But for me, it was in 2016, I believe, when Stranger Things came out.
Ooh.
I remember watching it, and I was just like, this is just crazy, wild, strange, unusual.
Mhm.
It's just, this is fantastic. And I was like, I would love to be able to just, do something like that. And I was like, well, why don't you? And so I decided at that point, I want to write something weird and strange and odd. And I just was like, well, let's write a book. Let's do it. So I started writing a book. It was a fantasy, and it's unfinished. It's 78 something thousand words, something like that. A trilogy. So it's not like, do I really want to start with the trilogy right away? But yeah, that spark of wild imagination from Stranger Things really just said, I want to do that. I want to write something unusual, strange, fun. And here I am today, finally published.
Is that true? Did Stranger Things come out in 2006?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, is it?
Oh, 2016. Okay.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, I think so.
I misheard you. I apologize. I technically am deaf, so I apologize. But I was like, wow, we're just getting the final season now.
Yeah, and they're 40. They're like,
still...
hey, kids.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter if it's 2006 or 2016. It's way too long for the final season.
Yeah. And the fact that, I mean, one could argue that, like, well, now they're the age that people used to play teenagers.
Exactly.
Like you go back to Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and it's Flash Thompson. Like, you are not a teenager. you know.
Well, what's that Saturday Night Live? Hello, fellow teens, or something like that with Steve. Yes, that's fantastic. The AC/DC T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
It's so true though. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's like even Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, he was pushing it.
It's pushing it.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
But it's fantastic done. I loved it, and just I enjoy this series. Season 2, I was a little about, but the rest of the seasons, I think, were all pretty much spot on, and I loved it. And it's been a great source of just imagination and fantasy, so and horror altogether.
It was awesome. I got pulled in just because it was like that 80s. Like I love like almost period pieces, like just going back 20 years.
Yeah.
But I guess Back to the Future put that in me, like going back
nostalgia,
even
the nostalgia with it.
Yeah, and it was just so well done, and that 80s vibe and that tech-free era, must have been hard for those kids.
It was initially, I think, supposed to be an anthology style series where each season would be a different group of storytelling, totally different plot, characters, everything.
That'd be cool.
And that it was so popular. That storyline was just so popular. They're like, well, we can't. Yeah, we can't stop that. So they actually turned it into its own story, and they had to totally rewrite everything. So I have no idea how much they actually ended up recycling, if they were able to recycle anything or not from their other ideas. But yeah, it was just such a home run out of the ballpark type scenario that they had to keep going.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I
now
really need to get onto that. I've only ever watched season one
oh,
of
man.
Stranger Things, and it's like it's got, as Jamie referred it to me, it's got everything that I could possibly need in a movie because I love D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons. I love
Well, there you
horror,
go.
and I just honestly haven't gotten around to it. I don't know why,
Well,
but I'm
Well, there's
definitely
just so
gonna.
much good stuff to watch. That's the problem.
Yeah,
There's so much good stuff to watch. You can't watch everything,
and when it comes to Stranger Things, at least season 4, the last 3 episodes are like movies. You know,
Yes.
yeah.
like I think the
Yeah.
last episode was like
They're
2.5
long.
hours, 2.5 hours.
Correct.
You
Well,
know?
And this season, it'll be that way.
isn't it this season that every episode is like
A movie.
over an hour and 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Get on it, Ryan.
I'm going to wait till it's finished now.
Oh, it'll never
Well,
finish.
there you go. Yeah. Binge the whole thing.
It's
Yeah.
the Stephen King of Fast and Furious, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I really hope that they do that anthology thing, but like maybe a 5 seasons with these characters and 5 seasons. You know, just
Yeah.
keep going because it's the spin-offs will work. You know.
Yes. Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah.
As long as they don't spend 3 years between
Yeah.
seasons.
Well,
that's too much.
hopefully they'll plan
That
it
hurts.
out. Like Eric Kripke did with the first 5 seasons of Supernatural. He sat
I
down
knew we were going to
and
talk about that.
planned a 5-season arc and wrote it all and put all the twists in it, and then went ta-da, and then they went, please more. But
Yeah.
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 The
Cool.
only problem with that is, and of course, this gets into storytelling itself, is when you have that planned arc, for 5 seasons or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they say, please continue.
Yeah.
You had those shifts and those change where the lore now is adjusted, something's different, and you're like, okay, there's the continuity issue there, and that really bothers me in a lot of stories that have just kind of like, do they know what they're doing? I don't know,
No.
but
Well,
it's just like
a lot of them
holes.
A lot of them switch writers. Like that's the problem is like you switch
Yes.
writers because that was my. I'm sorry to get into it, Ryan. But my issue with
I knew it.
more Supernatural is that they weren't. It's like the first 5 seasons they just ignored them.
Yeah.
And in a way that worked. Like if you don't watch the first 5 seasons and you start from season 6, it's like a new series and it works fine, but it's just the continuity. Like I just, I'm one of these people that looks that doesn't make sense. That
Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's talk about your book because Ryan's looking like he really wants to get into it. So
I just don't want to talk about Supernatural again because me and Jamie differ on it. Like Jamie won't watch past season 5, but I actually do because I'm one of those people that I have to, regardless if it's good or not. And I actually enjoyed. Like I think I got up to season 10. I'm up to season 10 at the moment. I'm just doing a rewatch, and I actually really enjoy it. I can see, yes, if we only got the first 5 seasons, amazing, that would have been great. But because we got more, I actually watch it and can really enjoy it. So yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fired, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah. You can't fire me. I am the show.
Yeah.
I am the show, damn it.
I do have another show on the side, remember?
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. Do you want to start with the cover, Ryan, or do you want to?
No. Well, let's just do what we normally do. So, obviously, do you want to take it through? I mean, I personally know the story behind it. Like, I don't know your story behind it because it's historical fiction. But what I read about it, it sounds amazing, and I love the true crime aspect of it. So, do you want to give us a rundown of why you decided to write about this historical event? And take us through, how you came up with all of that and the story.
I was stuck in a funk with one of my stories, and I just didn't really know a way out of it. And I was in a dry spell. So I was watching some YouTube videos of just random different horror things, whatever. And one of them came up as like the top 10 unsolved murders in the UK. And of course, I knew Jack Ripper would be on there and a few others. And I'm just sitting there watching. It's like a 45-minute video. And up popped like number 4, number 5, I forget which, who put Bella in the Wych Elm. And they just flashed that question, that's associated with her murder. And I was like, what the heck? And like, this is insane. Like, what a prompt to just kind of pull you in. And when they finished that little 4 or 5 minute clip about that story, I knew immediately I want to tell a what if reimagining scenario of this true life murder. So I definitely take the real murder. I don't know if you could really call it historical fiction or not, because so much of it is away from 1943 when it really happened. And I pull it into 2023, which is when I was writing the book. So that 80-year span, I do go back and forth a little bit, but most of the stories in 2023. It just, I wanted to reimagine it and add my own flair to it. It's paranormal, thriller, I guess you could say. There is this balance I try to weave with, is it a police investigation detective story, or is it a paranormal horror? There is that mix in between them. So that's the inspiration to doing it.
So did you obviously you mentioned how you found it on that video, but did you actually how much research did you do into Bella Gunness and what, because she was one of I remember listening to it, she was one of America's first real not just a woman serial killer, but one of America's first real prolific serial killers.
Well, I had to dig into it a lot. There is of course, lots of YouTube videos on it and websites to go to, and I read up on it. But there's actually a book written by a father and a son. I think Alex Merrill. He's going to be upset if I mispronounce that. I think that's the son, and they actually co-wrote together a two-volume series, actually called "Who Put Bella in the Wych Elm," and it is basically the historical police records and everything, all about her murder case, and how they found her in the tree, and of course where the writing comes from and everything. So I inhaled that 2-volume series, and absolutely loved it. And of course it gave me that factual background to things. So I do pull from actual people. So there are a few people in my story that are like the original investigator to her murder, the CSI, the original CSI who was involved in it. He's kind of his journal entries are major. Well, I have to make them up, but his journal entries are a major part of the story. And then there are a few even factual things from today's world that are in there, just 1 or 2 real people, but most of the people are all fictional. But I dug in, and I spent a lot of time reading as much as I could about her murder, about the search for missing women and everything. Was it the Nazi spies? Was it a cult, witchcraft, which is kind of the route that I go as paranormal, as well as what's the other theory? Oh, just simple domestic violence and missing wife or daughter or whatever. So I had to dig in and find a lot of it, and then I had to decide. Really the hard part is, and no spoilers, I had to decide, am I actually going to answer that question, who put Bella in the Wych Elm? Because if you have that as your title of the book, people are going to be expecting an answer, and I didn't want to leave it too open-ended, but at the same time I had to kind of come up with something. So I'll let my readers decide if that was a good idea or not, the way that I went with it. But so far, I think people are happy with the direction I went with answering that question.
Okay.
You didn't want to go Sopranos?
Oh, don't even get me started.
And the person that put Bella in the...
Yeah, exactly.
Find out in book 2. No!
That's literally the only thing I don't like about The Sopranos.
Yeah,
is the way that
it ended.
The way that they ended that, and
it's a famous ending, though.
Yeah, it is, but it's like And then they were talking about doing more, and then unfortunately James Gandolfini passed away, and yeah, I've watched that series so many times I could probably recite it line for line, but yeah, it's just one of the things that I just don't like about the show. And to each
Well,
their own, like
I really wanted to avoid the whole Dallas scenario of who shot JR.
Yeah.
Then they spend a whole entire season, discussing it. And then the next season, oh, here he comes walking out of the shower. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
what? So I try to avoid
Yeah.
that type of twists, which I don't like that type
Yeah.
of twist. Those twists, those tropes drive me nuts. So I try to bring it to an actual conclusion.
Yeah. It's cool.
Awesome. Well, that's
It's
good. Because if I
yeah.
get to the end of your book and it's like, fade to black without giving me an answer, I'm not going to be happy. No, I'm joking.
How many people do you ever worry that people just pick up your book and then go to the end? 'Cause,
Well, I actually have in the opening, I have a foreword that says, to the residents of Hagley, this is my imagining, my interpretation of what I wanted to have happen, or what I think could happen, a what if scenario. Please don't be offended. Then to the people who don't know the story, just read it all the way to the end. Because at the end of the book, I do have an afterward where I try again to separate out fictional characters from non-fictional characters, the real events, what really happened. And of course, some of those things were introduced in the story, but I try to go back and just do a really quick, short summary of what's real and what's not real, so that people can kind of get an idea of the real crime that took place with her murder. So, and I had a lot of positive reviews on that as well, that people said they appreciated that last bit, kind of dissemination of fact from fiction.
Because that's the good thing about historical fiction, because I did historical fiction, not about a murder, but that if there's a buzz around that topic, then people are going to find your book. It's like self promotion, Yeah. See, now I'm interested. Like, I'm fully interested. I don't read much horror or anything like that, but I'm genuinely interested now. I'm reading a horror at the moment, but I only read it in the morning, because I'm a scared little man.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to try to sell myself short or anything, but I didn't write it from the sense of like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely terrifying. I mean, I'm not that type of person, and it's not, it's not excessively gruesome or anything like that. It just has those paranormal elements in it. And I did have one reviewer. She said that like if you go in it with it's a detective book, then you're going to have a lot of fun with it. If you go in with it's a paranormal book, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's it's got a little bit of both. And so people of those two genres do find satisfaction in it. In my opinion.
Did you find it hard to do that balance, to balancing the detective and the paranormal, or did that just come easy?
No, I did find that a challenge, because along with the research of her actual murder, I have no police background or anything like that, and I know a lot of people who write detective stories and stuff like that, they have that type of background. They work for the police or whatever. And so I had to do a lot of that extra research into that, and to make sure that I don't say or do anything that would be just really stupid. Like, no, police officers don't do that. CSI agents don't do that. And I know I did have to twist a little bit. You always have to play with the facts of reality with your novels, but it was a challenge, to kind of weave them together and to make it work. But I found that to be fun. I really enjoyed that process, because I do like CSIs. I do like, the science behind that. I know that they're much more glamorous in TV and movies than they are in real life, but still, science and those things are quite fun. So I enjoyed the process, even though it was a little bit of a challenge.
That's cool. Yeah. So like what's the overall plot of the book? Like, do you have a protagonist who's a detective sort of thing, or?
So in short, what you have is, you have this unsolved murder that's been going on, for 80 plus years, and no one knows who it is. And here you have a young woman named Emma Lloyd. She is a ex-coroner, and she's looking for a change in her life, and so she decides to go into forensic work. And there is a job opening due to a untimely death, I'll leave it that way, And she gets offered that job, and she sees it as being able to get her foot into the door of doing not just collision forensic science, but real forensic science. And so she's okay. I'm going to take this. And basically, the job is dealing with cold cases. So she has to process cold cases and see if there's any new leads or whatever. And of course, being that she's in Hagley and she's dealing with cold cases, this is the pet project of this particular little CSI unit of one. And she is thrust into this. And she then discovers that there's quite a few cover-ups that are involved in this particular murder because of the supernatural aspect that, people just don't really would buy into this idea. Oh, there's a ghost, like, you just can't come out and say, well, there's a ghost, so we have to solve this problem. No. So there's quite a bit of cover-ups, and I'll leave it at that because some of those cover-ups can be kind of fun parts of the story.
Yeah, cool.
So I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, so she is thrust into it, and because she's a by the book type of girl, these cover-ups don't sit well with her.
Yeah.
And that really starts off a lot of conflict between her and the police station and Bella herself.
Yeah, you're selling me, mate.
Yeah.
I'll have to throw it on my TBR.
Yeah.
Let's talk cover. I'll bring it up so we can have a gander at it. Because it is a good cover.
Yeah,
thank
definitely.
You.
Yeah, what I love about the cover is obviously, where the title itself is Who Put Bella in the Wych Elm. And I just the way that the title sort of worked in with the tree, I think is really good. Did you actually design that yourself, or did you outsource it to get someone to
I can't take credit for that. Faye Lane, I believe is her name. She does a lot of the covers for a particular small indie press, and I'm going to butcher their name. It's a small indie press. They do a lot of gothic horror. And okay. I've seen a lot of those books around, and I saw her artwork a lot. I was like, no, okay, that's just, I like that artwork. I really like what she does. And so she was on Twitter at that time, and so I contacted her on Twitter. Again, her name is Faye Lane, and she had an opening for me, and so I bit for it and took it. So she did a phenomenal job with this. I just gave her my ideas and, the scope of what I wanted. I had my own cover that I was using as a working cover. And I was like, it would be okay.
Yeah.
This was 10 times better.
Yeah. And were you like, I need you to put a woman in a tree for me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it was. And she gave me maybe 4 or 5 different versions. There's actually one just like this with a black background, and it also really pops quite well. And I actually had to flip a coin between the black and the white backgrounds because they were just both of them were just so spectacular. And I may come back one day if I ever do a special edition, whatever.
Yeah.
And use that black cover. Hopefully she hasn't deleted those files.
Yeah.
So
we could always do a hardcover and like have the ones where you have the sleeves that come off them and just have the cover under it.
I did do a hardcover with a dust jacket, and that was for my Kickstarter because I had no funds going into it. So I did a Kickstarter about a year before I actually published. And I had a lot of people that took a gamble on me and supported. It was not cheap for them. They really forked out a lot of money to support me on that. And one of the tiers of gifts was a hardcover with a dust jacket. And it came out really, really nice.
Cool. Special edition floating around there.
Yeah.
That'd be
and they are signed. Those are signed ones too. So.
Yeah. That's the one you'd want to see in the wild, someone reading.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You're like, oh, really a fan.
You came in early.
Yeah. But then you'd be like, hang on, you don't recognize me. Where did you?
Well, in my defense, I actually just started to show my face on Twitter. Yeah. So I wasn't a secret or anything, but my Twitter account is actually Bella. And I ran it as it was Bella.
Yeah.
And so it was all about, it was dark and like who killed me, and I'm angry and all this other stuff, whatever. It was all very dark and
Help, I'm
creepy and
stuck in a
kind of
tree.
mysterious. Yeah, exactly. Oh, how did I get here in this tree?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kept it as her for a long, long time. And then
Cool.
I just slowly, I got tempted into well, I'm going to join this author group as this, but I'm a character. I'm going to join this author group, and I'm going to join this. And I started posting author stuff, and it was as Bella. And of course, I had her skull as my avatar. And people actually thought I was a girl for a long time. And of course, it was my wife's idea to do this,
Yeah.
And then eventually I had to be like, well, no, I'm a guy. Sorry, and then I didn't show my face for a long time, and I didn't even change my name. Now it says Bella Blake Myers, but I didn't even have my name changed there for quite a long time. So there were a few people like, whoa, who's this guy with the beard? You're not a dead woman in a tree. Come on.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what's next, man? Obviously there can't be a part 2 to this.
No. And I thought about it. I was like, what if Emma, assuming she survives the end, we don't want to say anything, but assuming she did survive at the end, would I be able to do anything like that? And I felt like that was forcing the story, and I didn't like that. And so I'm going to leave it as a one-off. Emma, great character. I love her. I really put a lot into her, and of course I love Bella as well. But you deal with the crime, solved or unsolved, you deal with it, and it's a one-off story. So I have a couple other current whips that are that I'm working on. One of them is a cosmic horror from the 1970s in Ohio, where I'm from. And that one's a fun one, just because it's different than what I normally like, which is paranormal. I love ghost stories. Ghost stories are always my top tier. And cosmic horror is, I wouldn't say new to me, but definitely new to my imagination. And so it's been fun to write. And I feel like I got a little bit of inspiration of The Crazies, that movie, as well as your typical Lovecraft style stuff. So I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit. And then I have another one that is more of a traditional paranormal about two siblings that are on holiday, and the one sibling is all about paranormal type stuff, and so they choose to do basically a little paranormal tour of the northeast of the U.S., Boston, and those type of places, Massachusetts, Maine, kind of like little Stephen King, that era, that area of the U.S. And so they go on this little self-guided tour, and the hotel that they pick is known for paranormal activity, and they make it their base of operations. And the hotel is known for taking children in particular. So the title of the book will actually be No Children Allowed. So that is an exclusive announcement. I haven't said that yet. I don't think I have the title of that, but yeah. So the idea is No Children Allowed, and then they have their paranormal experiences at that hotel. So a little bit of shining in there, but I try to differentiate from it. Obviously,
Ryan's very happy. Ryan looks very.
Yeah.
You've got a reader for life. You've got a reader for life.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way to do it. You got to.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of ghost stories. I've always loved ghost stories, but I spook easy.
Well, I do too. I spook very easy, which is why I love it so much.
Yeah.
The adrenaline rush.
I'm reading one of my friends, Don Campbell's book at the moment called Whispers in the Woods, and it's like it's like the Goonies meets it.
Yeah.
It's so
which is a great mashup.
Yeah, it's so well written, but it's creepy as hell.
Okay.
I'm just like, okay, so I think I'm up to chapter 10 now. I'm like, okay, I'll just leave it for a little bit. Go watch a comedy.
Read it in the daylight.
Yeah, pretty much in the morning.
Watching comedies afterwards are always a great solution for those things.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2 just came out, so I was like, watch some of that.
Give it a spin.
Yeah. No, because I like anything. Well, I'll read anything as long as it's well written, as long as you hook me in. And Don Campbell, if you're listening, you're freaking me out, man.
Yeah,
It's,
it,
it's
it is. It is definitely a great book. I've read it. I'm looking forward to his next release, in mid-August, which is good.
Fright
But
Manifesto.
yeah, yeah, I'm the complete
Say the title
opposite.
again.
Flight, no, Fright. Yeah, Fright Manifesto. It's
Okay.
like a flight manifesto, but fright. Um,
Right. Okay.
like like something. It's evil on a plane or something. I can't remember what the premise is, but it's about something malevolent on a plane, essentially.
Benevolent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um,
Cool.
yeah, as I was saying, I'm the opposite. I'm still trying to find a horror movie that will scare me. Um, I'm one of those people who, every time a new horror movie comes out and they're like, people are leaving the cinema because it's so scary. I watch it and I'm like, yeah, like there was one that came out recently called Bring Her Back, which is an Australian film, which was
It's quite
fantastically well
intense.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, it
well
was
done.
really, 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 really well written. Kind of a different take. Like I hadn't really seen anything like that before. But yeah, I went to the cinema and watched it, and yeah, like it was a great movie, but I just didn't find like it didn't scare me at all. But that's not
Right.
saying that it's not a great
Yeah.
movie. But I'm still
Yeah. Exactly.
literally looking for that one movie that will scare
we
me.
mentioned this with Janelle Sheehy, man. There's movies you
Yeah, but
just won't watch. It doesn't
that's
count because
just
it
Yeah.
yeah,
scares
but
me.
that's
Yeah.
that's not it
He's afraid
doesn't
of
scare me, it
spiders.
just freaks me out. I don't like spiders.
Yeah. So he won't
I
watch
have
any.
arachnophobia.
So he won't watch any movies with
Okay.
spiders in them. So he's found the movie that'll freak him out, but he won't watch it.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
but that,
But
see, I think that's a
I'm
different type of fear, though. That's a
yeah.
different type of fear.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of horror is like that. You have your Saul and Hostel,
Mhm.
and it's horror. But it's gruesome, it's disgusting,
Yeah.
it's violent,
Yeah.
and I don't find that scary at all. So I
No.
usually don't go to
Yeah.
those movies, but then you have your paranormal ones. Like one of my personal favorites is Woman in Black. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
of course it has Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Yep.
And of course the book is also one of my absolute favorites too. And then of course The Shining is my all-time favorite. I love The
Yeah.
Shining. The 1980 version. Although the TV made for TV version, which is Stephen King approved, it was good,
Hmm.
but Stanley Kubrick and that opening title
Mm.
song is it's
Yeah.
magical.
I,
So
I,
I
my,
do love
my
those.
introduction to The Shining, I actually watched the TV movie first, because
Okay.
I was a big Stephen King fan when I was growing up, and I'd read the book, and I was looking for it, and I saw it. I don't know. It was at the video. This was back when video shops were still around. I think I saw it at the video shop, and then I watched that, and then once I saw that, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure Jack Nicholson was supposed to be in it, and then I
Yeah.
found the other one, and
Mm.
I watched the other one, and I do agree it's definitely a lot better than the made-for-TV one. But the made-for-TV film kind of just, I don't know. I suppose it holds a soft spot in my heart because it's the first one of the
Mm.
Shining that I saw. Um, but yeah, that
Well, it's
Stephen
great
King.
because it's accurate. It's
Yeah,
accurate to the
exactly.
story, much more so than the Stanley
Yeah,
Kubrick one. So I
exactly.
do appreciate for that. But I think the problem with that one is it was made for TV. I actually
Yeah,
watched it when I was maybe in high school or young teenager when it came out, you know, and it was produced for TV. So they had to bring
Mm.
down that intensity. And I really wish they hadn't. But I mean, what
yeah,
do you do? I mean, it was in
Yeah.
the 1990s. It was made for TV. They
yeah,
had to bring it down, that intensity because they knew people would be watching it, like young children would be
Yeah.
watching it. So
exactly.
Accio, as they say in Czech, Accio.
But yeah, look, it was still good. But you are right. The Stanley Kubrick one was much more intense and much more, full on.
Psychological.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Than the made for TV one. But I'd still happily watch both of them.
So yeah, I have both of
Yeah.
them, and they're great. Yeah, but again, the idea is that there's always these different fears that everyone deals with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
spiders for one, blood and guts for another, ghosts for another, demons for another, and that's the beauty I think of horror is they're all different types, and everyone
Yeah.
has their own thing that they go to, and they can find that truly scares them. And for me, when I write, I decided, I don't want to write what other people are going to think is scary, because that's not going to do any good. I want to write what
Yeah.
I think is scary, because there are other people who are
Yeah.
scared of the same things that I am
Yeah.
scared of. So I'm going to write for them because I'm writing for myself. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my approach to it, is I could write all kinds of, killer this, killer that, and
Yeah.
serial killers, and I'll probably do a serial killer one day, but I want to write something that I find scary, because then it will be hopefully higher quality and people read
Yeah.
it and they will be scared. But maybe you
Yeah.
won't, because for you, it's spiders.
Yeah, exactly. No, I get what you're saying there. Definitely.
Yeah, no, that's write what you love. That's what you got to do, because do you ever scare yourself then if you're writing something that will scare you?
Oh, I did. I scared myself something really fierce. So this was my daughter just turned 6 this year, and so when she turned 5, I was in the middle of writing Bella, and uh, we had just had her birthday. So we had these helium balloons all over the house and everything, and random different things. And my daughter and my wife, they were at the cottage, which is like an hour away. And so since I had to stay home for work, I would say, great, I have hours. I could just sit here on the couch and just write. So it's the middle of the afternoon and I'm writing, but it's hot in the Czech Republic in the summer and there's no air conditioning. So I had both windows open. So this nice little breeze. Well, I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm writing, and I can see through the doorway into the entryway and just kind of around the corner where my daughter's bedroom would be. And here it comes floating. And of course, it had to be a red balloon, a little red balloon, just kind of hovering down. And so I'm on my iPad. I wrote the entire book on my iPad and iPhone, by the way.
Wow.
So
wow.
I'm writing this book. I'm looking at it and say, there's a balloon. I go back to the iPad, look over, see the balloon. It's getting closer to me. Just ignore it, Blake. Just ignore it. And so I'm writing some more. And of course, I had to be in a scary scene, but I don't remember which one it was. But this balloon just keeps floating, just bobbing as it's going through the house nice and slow toward me. And at some point, I'm like, no, Blake, be an adult. This is just the wind. And it's going to follow the least resistance. It's going to go right to the other window. No, it did not. It came right to me, to the couch, and it's right there. At one point, I'm holding my iPad, and it's right here. This little string is dangling down, and I'm like, now, if a stupid little clown comes out and jumps it from behind the door, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just gonna resign to die. Just let Pennywise kill me at that point. But it did. It freaked me out. Stupid balloon. Stupid red balloon. It had to be a red balloon.
Yeah. So a clown's your thing?
That got me.
A clown's your thing?
No, clowns don't scare me, but Tim Curry scared the crap out of me.
Well, I think that's just
when
Tim Curry.
He played Pennywise. Yeah, I mean, I watched that when it was on, and again, another Stephen King movie made for TV. But I watched that when I was a young teen, and man, he scared the crap out of me. So clowns don't necessarily bother me, but Pennywise scared the crap out of me as a kid. Well, that hit hard.
He was supposed to be the voice of the Joker, and they deemed him too scary, so they gave him Mark Hamill instead.
Yeah, Mark Hamill is I cop a lot of flack for it, but Mark Hamill is my favorite Joker of all time.
He's fantastic voice for Joker.
Yeah, 100%. And I think they had a thing on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel or something, where he would read Donald Trump's tweets in the voice of the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. Man, that was so good.
I'll have to go find those.
It was so good. But yeah, Mark Hamill for sure. I love whenever I hear that voice, because he did it for not only for Batman the Animated Series, but also for the Arkham trilogy of games, which I absolutely love. Hands down my favorite of all time. I think I own them.
His voice.
I own them on 3 different systems. I own them on PC, Switch, and PlayStation, and I paid for all of them. But yeah, his voice
became synonymous with it. Yeah. You think of the Joker, 100%. You think of his voice. It's fantastic, wonderfully done.
Yeah, just like
now, I also
Batman,
loved. I love Tim Curry as well in Legend. when he played the Dark Lord, I think was the title. I don't think they really gave his character a name, but man, that was also creepy. He played that very, very dark.
Yeah.
So Tim Curry can really scare the crap out of you, even though you think of him as comedy.
Yeah.
But
well, all the comedians stepped into horror. I think Robin Williams stepped into one, didn't he? And Jim Carrey did one as well, I think.
Yes. Jim Carrey did 23, and it was really bad.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job, but it was bad movie.
Yeah.
Do you know who really surprised me in a darker horror role? And that's John Lithgow in Dexter as the Trinity Killer.
Oh yes, the Trinity Killer. Yeah, he did fantastic in that.
He was like, to see him, like, I grew up with John Lithgow from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
So you
grow
up with
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Man, that was that's
he's pretty much synonymous with comedy and stuff like that. And then to see him do a role like the Trinity Killer in Dexter, like, just completely gave me so much more respect for him.
And now he's what, Dumbledore? Isn't he playing Dumbledore?
I heard that.
Oh,
HBO?
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, he's versatile. I think people
It'll be interesting.
Forget, because I think he may have gone to the same acting school as Kelsey Grammer. I know that Kelsey Grammer and Robin Williams went to the same and they came out like with Macbeth and drama, and then they're like, hey,
yes,
but they're both brilliant actors, and I think people just like the best kind of actors are the ones that can, they're versatile.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, I think Gary Oldman is great at that. Gary Oldman can switch roles. Because you get some people, no offense to any of these actors, I know they're all watching this right now or listening because they do. But like Ryan Reynolds. Love Ryan Reynolds. Okay. Same character every movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll watch all of his movies. And I'll give you my money, no problem. And he can keep making it for all I care.
Yeah.
Same character every movie. And that's fine. That's him. But when people can actually be different people, and they're that's skill. That's true. And Gary Oldman, a lot of these guys, they can do that. They're truly different people.
That's why one of my favorite actors of all time is Christian Bale, because he's just
The Machinist.
Oh yeah, right? and you know what?
He's like,
that, and
he
then
lost so much weight.
And then his next movie he auditioned for was Batman,
which is insane. His body must hate him.
Yeah,
his body must hate him because he was like 90 pounds or something, or 80 pounds when he did The Machinist. And that's not CGI on his body at all.
No.
No. And that was a really dark. That was a dark movie too, if I remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it was dark.
Yeah. And even he, what did you do recently? He did like a Edgar Allan Poe movie. It's on Netflix, I think.
Something Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Pale Blue Eyes.
Pale Blue, yeah. And
yes, Pale Blue Eyes. Yeah.
Who are you?
With the same guy that, it was the same boy that played Vernon, I think. Or no, not Vernon, but the cousin in Harry Potter.
I think so, yeah.
The little fat boy cousin Harry Potter was the same way. He lost a lot of weight, looked really good for himself, and played Edgar Allan Poe.
Yep. Brilliant.
That was a good one.
Yep. And then he did some old movie with Matthew McConaughey where he fights dragons. It's just like...
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire, thank you. Yeah, that's great. I love that's one of my favorite dragon movies.
Yeah.
It's so wonderfully done. Yeah. And that was kind of when they were a little bit unknowns. I think when they did that together, Matthew McConaughey had done, I think, Dazed and Confused before that.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two others, but he wasn't this big, huge superstar that he is now.
No, yeah.
So they both were kind of unknowns in kind of this almost B-flick movie, but actually the special effects actually are not B-flicks. The special effects are fantastic in that movie.
2002.
Yeah.
So 5 years before Batman.
It's a great movie. I love that one. It's definitely one of my favorite kind of unknown action flicks is Rain of Fire.
I love, because I grew up on monster flicks,
Yes.
One of my favorite from a kid, which just did not age well, at least CGI, Dragonheart. I've always loved Dragonheart.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
It
So
is,
whether it holds up or not, I can't
It
say.
doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay.
it came out after Jurassic Park, and it was worse than Jurassic Park animation style. But it's
okay. Now, is that the one with Sean Connery?
Sean Connery, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm just like, I just what I want them to do is what they're doing with video games. Just reanimate the whole thing. Like, leave it the same. Just update the dragon to looks cool because it is a like story wise, plot wise.
Right.
Pete Postlethwaite's in it too. It's just fantastic. Like just the story, the premise, everything is just brilliant. But it's just like that dragon is so crap. It's
but I do say though, I hate it when they go back and do these things and they cover it up. They cover up their mistakes because I will go down. I will die in my grave. The type person say that the special edition Star Wars are blasphemy and they should all burn in hell for eternity. Yep. I am so thankful to a guy from Pilsen, Czech Republic, just an hour away from where I live in Prague. He has done the despecialized editions where he has scoured all over the earth for as much of the original content as he can, and he's recreated, in essence, the original 1977, 1980, 1983, right? I think those are the correct years for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And put them into high def because you cannot find them anywhere. You can't buy them. You can't buy them.
No.
So the only way to get it is to illegally download these from the internet. I didn't say that. Yeah,
I did.
We have a saying called the high seas to acquire it on the high seas. I found like someone down the road from me. I walked past their house and they had like 700 DVDs on the side of the road, in a box with free written on it.
Yeah.
So, what I did is I went through it and I sold them off on Facebook Marketplace.
There you go.
Pretty quickly. The horror collection went quickly because I put it into categories. I went, 50 horror movies, and people like going scrambling for it. It was great. But in there was the very first trilogy of Star Wars on the first time it was on DVD. So it's untampered with.
Okay.
And I'm going like,
okay, so that's the original one. Yes.
Original, like so I think it was even pre when he added all this stuff.
99, I think.
Yeah.
99 because I was in college when they did that. So
yeah. So it's original, untampered with, Han shot first DVD. And I'm like,
it's fantastic.
I'm grabbing it. I'm holding it.
Yeah.
I'm not,
And so when I watch them today, and I every so often I always do a rewatch of the original Star Wars. I will not. I have them both. I purchased the original, and then I have this other ones that I magically got. I'll only watch the other one. I'll only watch the original. Is recreated but untampered, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
100%.
Yeah.
Look, we've been going a while. I think we should jump into these bonus questions. What do you reckon, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. So there's 6 bonus questions. So obviously, because we haven't given you these before, you can take your time and feel free to elaborate. So don't worry about just doing the one word answers or anything. The first question is, what is a book from your early reading days that has stuck with you throughout the years?
Earthsea series by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Okay. Do you want to give us a bit of an insight about what that's about?
My dad taught English for 39 years, and so we always had books in the house. I actually was not a big reader as a child. My ADHD just doesn't really allow for it sometimes, and that is a kind of a separate struggle that I deal with. But I wasn't a big reader as a kid either, and I just remember one day in the summer, I don't know what possessed me. I just walked into my dad's old library, and I saw these, and I just said, "Dad, can I read them?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, of course you can read them." And I just started reading. I had no idea it was even fantasy. I didn't know anything about it. I just something drew me to it. Maybe the cover. I don't know. I picked up. I started reading. I fell in love with them, and the movies of them are terrible, but the books, I loved them as a kid, and every so often I'll go back and reread them. They're great. They're fun. Little fantasies. And of course, I'm a big Tolkien fan as well. So don't get me wrong. I'm all about Lord of the Rings as well. But I would say that was just this weird. I picked that book up off the shelf for whatever reason, and so that's kind of stuck with me all these years. So that particular series it's been kind of personal.
Cool.
I like it.
Awesome.
Excellent. All right, bit of a fun one. If you could spend the day with any fictional character, who would it be and what would you do? And it doesn't have to just be books. It can be movies, TVs.
Fictional character.
Any.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Man, that's just too many options, because now I'm going through every single favorite movie, favorite this, favorite book. Man, does it have to be a single person?
No, I can be lenient. We can be lenient.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the boys from the Goonies.
No.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
excellent.
If I could, I want to be on that adventure, because I used to be able to quote that movie word for word as a child. I'd watched it every day in the summer for years and years and years. I wore that VHS tape out, and today I still swear by that movie. And of course, the other members of the Dark Veil Society, we argue about this quite often, if it's actually a good movie or not. And I'm like, no, you all should die for not saying that it's the best ever. As a Gen X person, I was obsessed with it. So for me, I want to spend the day with them on an adventure, 100%.
Awesome.
And would you spend the day with them doing the traditional mission from the movie, or would you like to do something different?
Well, we see, that's the thing, is it's a one-off. These are not people that are like Indiana Jones, where they always have a new thing that they're going after. So I would have to say it would be the original adventure. Otherwise, they would just be normal kids in school.
Yeah,
that's true. Do you want to go to school with the Goonies?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, that would probably still be fun. But no, the real magic was that adventure.
No, that's great. That's a great answer.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that one. I like the next question is my second favorite question. So we're going to set the scene for you. Jamie's going to put a picture up for you. So basically, picture this: you're in a log cabin, not a scary one from our horror movies, just a nice log cabin. There's a fire going. You're sitting down, on a rug or on the floor, and on that chair is your favorite book of all time. And in comes someone to read that book to you. It can be anyone, living, dead, famous, not famous. Who would you have to read your favorite book to you?
Okay, but now you gotta make me think about my favorite book. Oh, that's tough. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Woman in Black, because it's just a great book. And again, it's my type of paranormal, ghost and everything. I love that book. And again, the movie's great. So I'll have to pick that one. And who do I want to have? I don't know why the thought of Christopher Walken coming in and reading that, I was like, no. It can't be Christopher. That would just totally destroy it, but it would be stinking hilarious.
It'd be funny.
But
it would be really funny.
For a horror book, having Christopher Walken read, I couldn't.
It would not work.
Yeah,
we're gonna read a little bit of a story.
So you know what? I'm picking it. Christopher Walken reading me this story, just because it would be stinking hilarious.
Do it. Yeah.
No, I mean, there are a lot of great voice actors out there that would be spectacular, that I could, if I had a little bit more time to think about, but that would just be hilarious. And of course, it's Christopher Walken, and he's gonna, if you could have some time to talk with him afterwards, he would have some great stories to tell from Hollywood. He has done some great movies. So that's it. I'm going to go with Christopher Walken, just because I think it'd be hilarious.
And he started as a lion tamer. Did you know that? He was in the circus at 16. I think it's when he was 16. He was a lion tamer. Look it up.
Okay, you're only selling me. You're only selling me on this. I mean, come on. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, because me and Ryan started out this podcast as a trivia show sort of thing. Like we just read out random things from the internet,
Okay.
and and then eventually I became an author and we started doing author stuff. But yeah, it's like that was one of the articles we read pretty early on. It's just like unknown careers from people in Hollywood and famous people or whatever. And you're just like, he was a flipping lion tamer, lion tamer.
I mean, you get all these like waitress, school teacher, like I think Hugh Jackman was a physical education teacher,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, but lion tamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a new one.
It's like when you find out like all these buff wrestlers and action stars are like accomplished pianists, or doesn't like Dolph Lundgren have like PhDs in
he's actually a member.
I think so.
He's a member of Mensa.
Yeah.
And then Jason Statham was an Olympian diver.
Yeah. I watched one of his brainless movies.
He didn't kill people. He just jumped off into the water.
Oh, well, you don't know what happened under that water. He jumps up and he's like, "Oh, right."
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
What did I watch? I watched The Beekeeper the other day.
That's a great movie.
It's like
which one?
The Beekeeper, whatever it is.
I don't know it.
It's and this is, excuse the pun, but it's like John Wick if it was B grade. So it's not as
okay.
Like again
it'll be fun.
It's funny because but it's played dead straight, like because it's like like an element of the government. Oh no, they act outside the government. They like they basically solve the problems that other people won't solve, and then someone does something to someone who's kind to him, and then he just goes on a killing spree.
There you go. The Beekeeper. I'm putting it on my watch list right now.
It's fun. Well, like Jason Statham is another one of those actors that essentially plays the same character in each movie he does.
Yeah.
So which is fine, which is fine because I've watched all.
It's what I want,
and I love it. Yeah.
Well, you know what you're in for.
It's what I want.
Yes. If I'm watching a Jason Statham movie, I expect there to be a lot of killing and all that kind of stuff. That's what you go into it wanting.
And it has Jeremy Irons in it too, so that's good value.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. So it's not
Jeremy Irons is my favorite action villain of all time. Jeremy Irons, my favorite Die Hard movies, Die Hard Without a Vengeance.
Yeah.
And man, he knows how to play a villain.
It's not B grade, but it's just like it's got that John Wick vibe, and John Wick is just so incredibly well done that it's like another level. But it was a fun watch. Because
I'm adding it to my list.
Jason Statham's hit and miss, I find.
Because
there was another
Transporter
good one.
was great.
Yeah.
There's another recent one that was good where he was like
The Working Man.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just a small town. It was just a guy and his daughter, and they're living in like some small place, and then someone again stirs the beehive, and he goes on a killing spree.
Yeah.
It's just like it's Okay, I'm not going to skip any questions, Ryan.
Please don't.
Is it your go? No, wait, okay.
It's your turn.
Okay, a nice, easy one, and feel free to recommend something from the Dark Veil Society if you feel obligated. But what's a must-read indie book?
Oh man, this is a terrible question. Are you kidding me? You thought it was a softball question? This is what you're giving me?
Well, to narrow it down, you don't have to recommend Janelle Shiki because she's had her own episode. People know about it.
Yeah.
Ryan's already plugged it.
And I will continue to plug it because they're so good.
Yeah. I've had so much fun reading some of these, and there are so many that are on my list that I want to read, and I haven't been able to. Like, I'm in the middle of reading right now Alone Together by S.S. Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
And it's fantastically fun, but I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going to be a 5-part series. He talks about this. It's 5 parts, and he's already on book 4 already. So you can dive into this series, everybody. So we'll make this my selection. You can dive into this series because of the fact he's going to finish it. He's going to give you the whole series. He's not going to be one of these authors that's just going to be like, I started a series and then I vanish. No.
Yeah.
He's on book 4. He's got book 5 already planned out, scheduled. I don't know how much of a pantser or plotter he is, but it's ready. And actually, book 2, I think because I'm doing the formatting for book 2. I'm just gonna keep that in mind. I got a little work I need to do.
Yeah.
It will come out in the fall. So yeah, I would say Alone Together. It's been a fun read so far. I'm only in the middle of it, but yeah, absolutely, it's great, and it'll be a series that you'll be able to finish. So, Alone Together by S.S. Fitzgerald.
It's on my radar. I've recorded an episode with him on his Birds and Words YouTube thing.
Oh yeah,
so that'll be out next year sometime. I'll probably forget about it because it's so far away. But
so far away, yeah, exactly.
Because he does one a month. But yeah, no, he's even on my list to get on. We're probably just going to nab all your Dark Veil Society people and bring them in here because
darkveilsociety.com.
Yeah. Because Ryan, we'll probably have to get Ryan on X now just so we can stalk you all.
Yeah.
He's loving this because he's like going, oh, horror, yes, horror. Because last recording was a lady that wrote like romance espionage or something like that.
That was a great chat, though.
Yeah, that was a great
really
chat.
good. Like, it's not my cup of tea book-wise, but she writes non-fiction science stuff
as a day job,
for her job. Very, very smart, very lovely conversation.
Yeah.
And even the conversation we did before that was, to be honest with you, Blake, there's 2 genres I cannot stand, and I will refuse to read or watch any movies like that. One of them is war, like war movies. To me, I just cannot get behind it. I don't know. I just don't find them interesting. But the other one, and this one kills Jamie because it means I can't play one of his favorite games of all time, is Westerns. I cannot stand Westerns. I hate Westerns with a passion. But one of the interviews we did recently was with a gentleman who wrote a Western aesthetic fantasy. And he almost had me get it. Almost.
Almost.
That's just the way he sold it, because like, if you know how much I hate Westerns, it takes a lot to get me to almost get a book. And like, I just, maybe it's because I'm getting older, but there's so many things out there that I haven't got time to watch. And I'm not working at the moment. I don't do much during the day, but I still don't have enough time to read and watch everything that I'd like to do and like to read and like to watch. So unfortunately, there's probably no chance that I'm ever going to read a Western or watch a Western or play one of Jamie's favorite games, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I was going to say, it has to be Red Dead Redemption.
I just...
Whether there's, whether it's Western or not, no one's got time to play that game.
Yeah, true, very true. Because it is one of those games where it's like open world. It's like The Witcher, where you can just, you don't have to do the main quest. You can just live on side quests.
Yeah, but Ryan, it ends and then it keeps going.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you finish it and
that's real life.
Yeah,
that's real life.
It's just like, but wait, now here's a whole new story that's, it'll take you, 20 hours to finish. I'm just like, gee, but I love it because it's so immersive, Yeah. You can, except the thing that craps me about that game is that you can play at the end as John Marston, spoiler alert for like old game, and you can do all your farm chores, and you get $8 at the end of the day. Or you can go kill a few deer, take them to the butcher, and get like $18. It's like, why is he farming when he could just
be a hunter? Yeah,
be a hunter, or be a fisherman. It's great. Yeah. It's good value. Yeah. It's good value.
Well, one of the nice things I like about these types of interviews is, even though it might not be your genre, seeing the actual author talk and speak, it makes you really interested. Saffron did one on her show, Booked. I don't remember the author's last name. I believe her first name is Sarah. She doesn't write a genre that I read. I really liked the interview, and it was really great just sitting down and just listening to this girl talk, them go back and forth, telling stories about stuff. And it was like, okay, like you said, I might actually be convinced to get her book, even though it's not my genre, just because it was fun to get to know her, And so I love that,
Yeah. Well,
and that's why we do this podcast, because I say this all the time, I've discovered so many amazing authors and amazing books from just doing this podcast. Before we started doing this podcast, I was always just a traditional author read it, like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, like all the published authors. And then we started doing this podcast, and I found so many great authors that my TBR list is now just indie stuff. There's no traditional published stuff on there because I was like, wow, this is, everything I've read from my TBR list has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so much better than the published stuff that I read. So, that's what I love about this podcast, because if we get to know the author, it makes me want to read the book so much more. And it's like we're reading Janelle's The Clatterman, like the fact that we had a long conversation with her, and I feel like I know her a little bit, and reading a book that someone that I know has written, it makes it all that more personal, and it makes it all that more enjoyable. So, yeah, 100%. That's exactly why we do this podcast.
And I feel like if I'm going to spend my money on a book, and they're all high quality, I would love to give my money to a person who is building their career as an author. I love that. I'll still buy a Stephen King book. I'll still read it, and these other people that are well established. But it's also nice I could just go and I could support them, and I still get a book that's fantastic to read. I love that. It's great.
Definitely. And some of the books that I've read are, better than the published stuff I've read. And I just think that there's so many authors out there, and it's so good that we have, tools like Amazon and everything where you can actually self-publish things. Because for a long time, back in the past, it was traditional authors or nothing.
Is it?
You couldn't. Yeah, exactly. You couldn't do it if you couldn't. So if you weren't part of a label, then, or like a publisher, then you never, that's the end for you.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just really happy that we live in the world that we do, and there's so many amazing books by so many unknown or not well-known authors.
Yeah.
Okay, my question now. So this is a bit of a thinker as well. If you could take any protagonist from your book and throw them into someone else's work, who would you pick and where would they go? Now, this could be where they go, could be anywhere: comics, video games, movies, TV show, whatever that may be.
A protagonist.
Protagonist. One of your characters.
Your books, yeah.
Okay. Well,
would you take Bella? Would you take Bella and put her in
she's not really a protagonist,
No, but she's still the character. But like, would you imagine throwing that mystery somewhere else?
That would be crazy. No, I am going to pick someone who's not a protagonist, but not an antagonist either. He's an interesting mix in my story, and he's totally fictional. I added him in for fun, and that would be Timothy. Timothy is a very large fellow, a rugby player. And when I mean large, I based him off, I think, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, awesome.
No.
When I wrote him, and I would put him with Sledge, and just let the two of them either go on an adventure together and be little twin duos bashing people's skulls in, or maybe have him be an antagonist in his story and have him go head to head with Sledge. He may not have Sledge's refined skills, but he would put up a good fight, I think. Yeah, because he's a little crazy. Timothy's not all there, so you gotta watch out for those people.
Excellent. I wonder if you and the Dark Veil Society will ever do crossovers. Do you ever think about doing crossovers?
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Can I say that? We have talked about the fact, are we all in the same universe?
That'd be cool.
And the other day, I hope I don't spoil anything. The other day we got talking, Jan. I can never pronounce Jan's last name. I am so sorry, Jan. He just did Eyes Wide Open. He killed a character in his book. What was the name that he chose? Oh no, it's going to be terrible. But we picked it was a mundane name, just a mundane name.
Yeah.
And someone else was like, well, I think I killed a character by that name. And so we all were like, should we all start killing characters by that same name? Like, just have this as like a running Easter egg joke. Like this guy, he just keeps dying in all of our books, you know. So so we have talked about crossovers. We're actually doing an anthology. I was not a part of it, but there will be kind of a Lovecraftian anthology that a lot of our members participated in, and it should be coming out here in the, we'll say in the next 6 months, you know. So we are trying to really team up together, write together. So it's not just supporting each other on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. Like, we actually are very active in our Discord, and like to collaborate. And we have lots of other collaboration things coming up. I will go ahead and spill the beans that Amon didn't spill. We're going to do a children's literature contest coming up this autumn. And I have no idea how many participants we'll get, but we're going to put it out there to any English-speaking student, 9th through 12th grade, to submit a flash fiction horror story around the theme of horror or Halloween frights. The prizes will be small, you know, but you know, it's just something, you know, to be out there and to interact. So we love this idea of interacting with each other, interacting with the community, and you know, sharing a little universe, sharing characters, sharing ideas, and writing together as well. So I love that about DVS.
Awesome. Well, actually, now I have an idea for you if you want to use it. Back on the name thing, you know, they're going through, you kill the same character. What if there's a list, something's going through a list, trying to find someone specific, killing off all the Johns? Like, are you Sarah Connor? You know?
I like that.
And then you could together create your own Thanos.
I'm game. I'm game. You know,
It's out there. It's out there now.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great. That's really cool with the kids. You know, because kids love horror, the Goosebumps and the creepy
Fear
stuff.
Street and
That's awesome. All right. Last question.
All right.
Hold on, let me check to make sure it is the last question.
It is, isn't it?
It is. Okay, cool. Yes, it is.
Because I always get this wrong. All right. Probably easy, probably hard. It can go either way. But what are your top 3 desert island books?
So you're stranded on a desert
island books.
Yes. You've packed your bags, you're going on a trip, the plane crashes on a desert island, and you only have 3 books.
I thought you meant a book about a desert island. I'm like, no. I don't think I've ever read a book about a desert island. Okay, so I have to take with me onto the desert island. All right, well.
So you're stuck on a desert island for the rest of your life, and you've only got 3 books with you. What 3 would you pick?
Can I cheat and say LOTR is 1 book?
No, you can't. We had this discussion last week.
If it's under 1 cover.
Fair.
If it's published under 1 cover and it's 2-3 books, that counts because it's a physical.
Yeah, but it's got to be in the same actual physical book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have that. I have all 3 in one big fat.
Yeah. Well, then that counts.
That counts.
Okay. Definitely taking that because even though I'm a horror writer, I love me some Tolkien. Okay, so I'll take that. I am really religious. I haven't really talked a lot about that. I'm really quite religious. I might actually take the Bible.
I've had someone take that before.
That's fine because that's the ultimate. Yeah. That's the ultimate cheat. It's 66 books under 1 cover.
Right.
You know. Ta-da!
Yeah.
You know. That's the ultimate cheat.
But so I might take that as well, and then I do need to take a horror novel. I got to take something horror, but like that's going to be tough then to come down. Like, do I want to take Woman in Black, which we've already talked about? Or do I want to do something different, like The Shining or It? Oh man, or something from DVS because I haven't read I haven't read everything from DVS, so I don't know if I can.
Stephen King books are good because they're usually huge.
They are.
You know, I know I had a physical copy of It, and that's another reason why I went to reading digital because I love Stephen King. I have pretty much all of his books. But if I were to carry them around with me every time I went away,
Crazy.
it would be a suitcase of its own. So that's why I've got them all on my tablet.
But that's actually my negative critique of Stephen King. I'm sorry, Mr. King. Is I do feel like his stuff is a little too long-winded.
Yep.
Which is weird because I want the Bible with me and Lord of the Rings, But so yeah, I think I'm going to have to pick a quick read. And I am going to go back to a Woman in Black. It's just such a fun. I know maybe I'm cheating a little bit again there, but I need a horror book, and it's a shorter book, and it's right up my alley. It's got all my favorite features to it. So,
and if you're lucky, Christopher Walken may be on the same plane as it goes down.
I could just see you going.
Him reading the Bible. Him reading the Bible. That will definitely be hilarious.
Which book?
Yeah.
Do you want to read?
Jamie's really, really bad impression of Christopher Walken.
No.
You gotta realize, Jamie, that he's not a robot. He's not a robot. Because how you make him sound is like a robot.
Yeah, no, I don't emphasize. I can't do like a Brooklyn accent or whatever it is. I emphasize the rhythm in which he speaks.
Yes, yeah,
because he speaks a lot like this
with that pause, that hesitation. Yes, yeah.
That's more William Shatner. William Shatner used to do that in Star Trek all the time.
He also, you're right. He also is quite famous for that awkward pause when he speaks, but it's very different between the two of them. But Christopher Walken.
Shatner's got that great music album he did where he just recites the lyrics to songs.
Yeah.
Mama, I killed a man.
He has a great sense of humor about himself, so he has fun with things.
I do love seeing him turn up in things. What was it? An old show I used to love called Psych. He played one of the character's fathers in it.
If I actually had Psych on my list, if I did not do horror, because I thought you guys were going to say sitcoms.
Initially, we
have that.
Did I put sitcoms? And so I was like, okay, if he does sitcoms, then I want Psych on my list. But you opened it up, so I went with the darker theme. But
no,
Psych is great.
Yeah, because on my Mount Rushmore, I think it's like my first three are locked in, but the last one is like, it's like I can't choose.
What do you want? What do you want?
Choose,
Yeah.
Not cool.
Well, a little bit of William Shatner trivia before we go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know. No. I don't know if you know this, Blake, being a horror guy, but the Michael Myers mask from Halloween was actually like a decaying William Shatner Star Trek mask.
I mean, as a Myers myself, of course I know that lore. I love that. He's one of my favorite slashers, and it's just because of the name. I can't betray the family name. So
I just love it. When I first got into comedy, Mike Myers was getting pretty famous. And like every time you would say Michael Myers, I'd think like Austin Powers, and Shrek and stuff like that. But
if you want a good Michael Myers, if you want to go back and get a good Michael Myers comedy, you need So I Married an Axe Murderer.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yep.
Fantastic.
It's
one of my favorite Mike Myers.
Well, the one thing I remember about that is when he's playing his dad, and his dad's up on stage at a barbecue singing "If You Want My Body," and you think I don't know why that's just stuck in my head, but it just has. I haven't watched that movie in years. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. It's a fantastic flick. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
That's like Robin Williams and Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Yes. I would love to see the comedian Rob Williams sing the songs of Robbie Williams. That would be fantastic.
That'd be fantastic. Well, they always said it was a joke I think Robin Williams always made. It's like, oh, Robin Williams, the gay singer or the hairy monkey, and then Robbie Williams just released a movie where he's a monkey.
Where he's a monkey, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right. That's his life story. Only him playing a monkey.
Hey,
Right.
I watched it. It was interesting. Like, it's just weird. Like, they don't explain why he's a monkey. He's just a monkey.
No,
They just
I
go
think
with
it's
it, yeah.
I think it's better. I think it's better if they don't explain it.
Yeah.
I
And
think
look-
it look like it's just like it's one of those things where you just, oh yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you don't think about it.
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad.
Well, if that was real, it would be so normal to us, no one would question it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why should
that's
we as
true.
an audience question it? If that's how it is in that world, we shouldn't even question it. We shouldn't need an explanation because that's just how it is. And
Yeah.
why would we think otherwise?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Well, that feels like a nice, good wrap up. Thanks for joining us, Blake. It's been
thank
a
you for having me.
cracker of an episode. Ryan is very satisfied. He's got TBRs and movies to watch. So two things. One, why don't you plug yourself, and then why don't you give the Dark Veil Society a plug again?
Yeah. So you can find me on blakemyers.ink, and that's INK, as in a tattoo ink or writer's ink. And on Twitter, I'm most active, again, under Bella Hagley Wood. I am on Instagram and Facebook. And I just have the one book out, everybody. Who Put Bella in the Wych Elm? Buy it, love it, read it, review it. Then for Dark Veil Society, we are found on darkveilsociety.com, and we do have a Instagram and a Twitter account as well. All of them are Dark Veil Society for their handles as well. And we have lots of books that are constantly coming out. And again, we just finished up a competition earlier this year of kind of the brackets. And then we've got the writing competition coming up, and we have another one for Christmas, and we have another one for the springtime. So we like to do these little competitions for stuff. So it's not just us publishing books. We like to do things, as a community and have fun as a community. So Dark Veil Society, gotta love them.
Check it out, guys. All the links will be in the show notes. And as always, check out our sponsors: Rebecca Cassells, Martin Kearns. Buy their stuff, buy my stuff. I have books too. Just FYI, I rarely ever talk about them. But,
oh really? Yeah, really.
Hey, did I ever talk about it this episode yet? Have I spoken
Not
about
this
it?
episode.
No. Did I
You
speak
just
about it last
have.
episode?
You literally just have.
I have the power of editing, so maybe I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. All our links will be down in the show notes for that too. Buy Ryan's shirt if you want to live the dream.
Please do.
Make him happy. Make him happy. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
See you next time.